Hi, brothers and sisters. It's Melissa again. I just wanted to come on and share a dream with you that I had about, I want to say 4 years ago. And it was just about kind of being prepared for what's coming. But I wanted to give you a little bit of background about my life so you kind of know how to follow me through the dream and who the people were in the dream. When I was 13, my father had passed away of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I had stayed with a family that had lived in our town. My father was actually a Nazarene pastor, and I was best friends with the Baptist pastor's daughter. And so this was the family that I stayed with when my dad would go out of town to have treatments because we lived in a really small town in Kansas. And so it was my best friend Heather, and then it was also her mom and dad that were in the dream. But in the dream, I was in their house, and I had a gorgeous wedding dress on, and the whole front of it had what looked to be like diamonds all over the front of the wedding dress. And then it had a really long train on the back of it. But in the dream, I was wearing the wedding dress, and the Lord was having me stock up on food and water. And so in the dream, if you ever actually go into the grocery store and you see a wooden pallet on the floor and there's water or food stocked up on it, that's kind of how it was in my dream. It was a wooden pallet in the middle of their living room floor, and I was literally stocking that pallet of food with food and water. And so my height, I'm about 5'4". And I basically had stocked the food maybe up to here to me. But in the dream, I almost felt like the Lord was telling me, yes, I'm having you prepare, but you're not going to be coming back here. But he had me working diligently to stock up the food and the water, and also the family that I was staying with. They were helping me in that process. So finally, we got the whole pallet stocked with food and water. And Mr. Watts, he was like, Melissa, he goes, we have to leave now. He goes, we need to get in the car. And he goes, we have to go to the church. He goes, I don't want you to be late for the wedding. And I said, okay. So I left with the Watts, with this family, and we got in the car and we went to the church. And when I entered the church, I stood right by the front doors, and the front doors were all glass, so I could actually see out. I could see everything. I could look up, see the sky. And as I was standing there, I was greeting all of the guests. And in the dream, the guest had been everyone that I had ever met in my life. It was friends that I had greeted. It was family I was greeting. It was co-workers that I had worked with. Just every single guest was someone that I really have known in my life. So I was kind of shaking their hands and telling them to have a seat. So then as soon as all the guests were in, I turned around and I looked out the glass doors, and I looked up at the sky, and I was waiting for the bridegroom to come. And then I woke up. So it was just a really cool dream because so many people just don't believe in the rapture. They don't believe that the Lord is coming back for us. But I know from this dream that he is coming, and that there is going to be a rapture. And I also know that God was calling me at that point in time 4 years ago to begin to prepare for what's coming. Now, in the dream, I didn't feel like that food and water was going to be for me. And even the Lord had spoke that into my heart. But as I started thinking about it, I kind of wanted to refer back to Noah. And I kind of wanted to refer back to Genesis 6. Noah was also living in a day and time where the people had grown very sinful in nature. They no longer loved or appreciated God, and there was just so much sin back in that day that God actually decided to cleanse the earth. But with Noah, he had 100 years to build the ark and to prepare. God had him preparing before the storm ever even came. So in my dream, that was really where I felt that the Lord was leading me, was to prepare for a storm that was coming, but that he was coming back for me, and that whatever was there wasn't necessarily going to be meant for me. But I do know with Noah that he had Noah prepare. So I just want to read for you Genesis. It's chapter 6. And I'm just going to start in verse 5. The Lord saw how great man's wickedness on the earth had become, and that every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil all the time. The Lord was grieved that he had made man on earth, and his heart was filled with pain. So the Lord said, I will wipe mankind, whom I have created, from the face of the earth, men and animals and creatures that move along the ground, and birds of the air, for I am grieved that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. And then going on to verse 11, it says, Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on the earth had corrupted their ways. So God said to Noah, I am going to put an end to all the people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. I am surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood. Make rooms in it and coat it with pitch inside and out. So there we see that God is just having Noah prepare, because God at that point in time was seeing the wickedness. And I truly believe that it was grieving his heart. And so at that time, he called Noah out and said, you need to prepare, you need to build an ark. So in verse 17, he said, I am going to bring floodwaters on the earth to destroy all life under the heavens, every creature that has breath of life in it. Everything on the earth will perish. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you. You are to bring into the ark 2 of all living creatures, male and female, to keep them alive with you. 2 of every kind of bird and every kind of animal, and of every kind of creature that moves along the ground will come to you to be kept alive. You are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away as food for you and them. So we saw that God was having Noah prepare for this time. But then I also wanted to take you to Matthew 22. I had told you in the dream that I had basically saw all the wedding guests. Everyone that I had met in my life was coming in. So there is a verse in Matthew. It's Matthew 22. It's the parable of the wedding banquet. And if you would like, you can go and actually read that out for yourself. But in verse 8, it says, Then he said to his servants, sorry, my puppies are barking. There's someone coming up to my door. I'm going to try to get through this, though. Then he said to his servants, the wedding banquet is ready, but those I invited did not deserve to come. So go to the street corners and invite to the banquet anyone you find. So the servants went out into the streets and gathered all the people they could find, the bad as well as the good, and the wedding hall will be filled with guests. But when the king came to see the guest, he noticed a man there who was not wearing wedding clothes. He asked, "How did you get in here without wedding clothes, friend?" And the man was speechless. Then the king told the attendants, "Tie him hand and foot and throw him outside into the darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are invited, but few are chosen." So, as you can see in my dream, there was many guests invited, but in this particular scripture, few were chosen. And so I guess this video is just, I'm making this because I want to warn you that we are to prepare for what's coming. There's a lot of different things going out there that we are going to have to go through some hardships before Jesus comes. This is also, today is March 3rd. We know that Netanyahu is speaking before Congress. We do know that Obama hasn't been receiving Netanyahu. He's not even planning on going to Netanyahu's speech. And we know that the Bible tells us that God will bless a nation that blesses Israel. But God will also curse a nation that curses Israel. And I really believe that with everything that is happening right now with Obama and Netanyahu, I really believe that we're about ready to see judgment in America. And I don't know what's happened. God has shown me a few things of a few dreams of things that are going to happen to the United States. So far, I have not released those dreams, but I really feel like God is just having us in this preparing stage. So I do want to warn you guys that something is coming. You need to prepare. If you haven't started preparing, I would say get as stocked up as you can on food, water, ammunition, whatever it is that God places on your heart. I would just go to him in prayer and ask him, "Lord, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to prepare for what's coming?" And then I would just be obedient to what he is asking you to do. And my husband and I have been hearing from the Lord about this. We have been actually preparing the last couple of years. We've been, preparing and just kind of getting ready for a storm to come. We don't know what's coming, but please do not lose heart, because we know Jesus is coming. He's coming soon. And so I'm just kind of putting this out there, that we indeed need to prepare. And you got to remember, if Jesus does come back, I believe that those water, food, supplies, whatever we have left, whatever we have in our homes, people are going to also find those things and they're going to be able to use them. So we may not even have to use them, but I just, in my spirit, I have been sensing that a storm is coming, and that we need to prepare. God was actually speaking to me about the dream I had. He's like, "Melissa, you need to release it. Now is the time to release the dream." So you all know me. I love the end times. I'm an end times person. God has given me a lot of dreams and visions that I'm going to continue to share with you. I'm going to try to do one dream a week if I can. Sometimes my work schedule doesn't allow that. But yeah, we just need to prepare as the body of Christ. We need to prepare. And so I hope everyone has a blessed day in the Lord, and I love all of you guys. If you have subscribed to my channel, I just thank you. I'm kind of new to this whole YouTube thing, so but I thank you if you're listening to the videos, and if you're being blessed by them. You can leave me a comment. But blessings to you all. Love you. See you next time. Bye-bye.